November 14th. Wow, what a weekend. Rob is back from Hawaii. Rob was saying, well, he looks pretty tan, huh? Anyway, he was saying some crazy shit. He was talking about how expensive it is over there in Hawaii. Rob, tell him how much a glass of orange juice for breakfast would be over there.
Oh my God, $20.
$20.
Let me give you a better example. For like a pack of diapers, right?
Yeah.
For a 3-month-old. Normally we pay like $7 to $9 over here. Over there was like $24. Yeah.
Wow,
it's insane. It's just extremely expensive, at least in the area I was at.
Did you go to the store and buy groceries?
Oh yeah.
So you wouldn't have to spend all that money?
I mean, just basic stuff like breakfast for the morning at the ABC store over there. I was probably like in and out maybe $75 a day, just on like a couple, like 4 or 5 things.
Wow. Yeah, no, Hawaii's always been expensive. Real estate is crazy expensive over there for sure. Hey, listen, guys, the elections has been interesting. And our gal, Carrie Lake, doesn't look too favorable right now, according to what's happening in there. But if you listen to the media, you would think that the 2022 midterm election was a huge loss due to President Trump. And, here's the thing. Trump won big despite all of this glitches and the ballot drops for the losing Dems and this huge psyop that carried on after, during Election Day, after Election Day. And if you question the cheating, which few does, right, you are a election denier. So I guess I'm an election denier. But my God, when I see what's going on out there, and how dare anyone question or object to the massive stuff that's going on out there, it's been, it looks like to me it's a well-oiled can the way they're doing this thing. And I got to tell you something, if us Republicans, us conservatives don't get up our asses and start doing something about this, well, get ready, because this is going to be the new norm. We're just going to keep losing. It's like playing football, and you just keep losing. What, Rob?
Some of your listeners are not going to like what I'm going to say, but I mean, it seems like the Republicans right now are just a group of bunch of pansies, a bunch of pussies.
Seems like it,
because they haven't done shit. They have not done anything.
I don't understand this, Rob. Andy and I were talking about this the other day. It's like you got France. You got Florida, that's got 7 million people, right? In Florida, something like 21 million people. 21 million people in Florida, and they can do their election in one day.
Yeah.
And it was all the right way. It was all red all the way because it was right. But yet, then you have Arizona, California. I can go on and on and on. The list is on and on. And then here's an interesting thing. In Nevada, you had Republican beating Democrat. Democrat only needed 63% to win after the election was done and everything. Oh, votes are going to take a week to get in. But guess what? Masto Cortez got exactly 63%. How is that possible? So, it's interesting how all of these things are shaping up. And I'm telling you, we the people are getting sick of it, of our votes not counting when we put our votes in, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to change until this mail-in bullshit and these drop boxes and all that stuff. It's the places where they have that. Gives them the time, and then they have all this extra time after the election. They can do all kinds of finagling and all kinds of shady things, or it opens it up to that. So that's what has to stop. You got to stop these mail-in ballots, these drop boxes, these ballots without signatures, nobody checks. And this is, Democrats love this. This is all about the Democrats, like Barack Obama had said in 2008.
Yeah, I want to show you. You mentioned that. Let me
segue into that about controlling the machines. Thank God we have people. He said controlling the machines.
I'll tell you what. Let's take a flashback. Let's go take a look at this real quick. So this is Obama back when he said that same thing. Well,
It's loaded.
Is that what's happening? Well, I don't really like looking at Obama anyway, but is it loading or what's going on?
Well, I tell you what, it helps in Ohio that we got Democrats in charge of the machines.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. It's right out in front of our eyes. Listen to him.
But look, I come from Chicago.
One of the worst states in the country.
I want to be honest. It's not as if it's just Republicans who have monkeyed around with elections in the past. Sometimes Democrats have too. You know, whenever people are in power, they have this tendency to try to
cheat.
You know, tilt things in their direction.
Yeah, where's cheat? That's what I'm trying to say. In other words, when Democrats get into power, we tend to cheat. Well, that's exactly what I feel is going on here. And, you know,
all the information is in plain fucking sight. It's all in plain sight.
I mean, if you flash back, let me tell you something else. Flash back to Arizona, if Katie Hobbs, Fox, now keep in mind this, Fox literally declared Katie Hobbs, and it was a mistake, and they declared her winner 12 days before the election when she was behind by 11 points in their own poll. And I'm not making this up.
How does that happen? How does that happen?
How does it happen? Look, on Thursday, October.
It's a mistake, you know.
Go back in time. Flashback. On Thursday, October 27th, according to sources, which is Fox, less than 2 weeks before the midterm elections, Arizona's Fox 10 channel aired the results of the upcoming gubernatorial election before the actual election actually took place during the broadcast. And Fox 10 posted an election update in the lower left-hand corner of the screen with Democratic Katie Hobbs already in the race by 7 points. I can't make this up. And at that time, Katie Hobbs trailed Republican Carrie Lake by 11 points in the latest Fox 10 poll. Now, that's an 18-point swing. That broadcast did not get unnoticed, and that's what I'm talking about. This is also Carrie Lake's former TV station, by the way. Did y'all know that?
Interesting, yeah.
And where she was the number one anchor until she decided to walk away from the fake news media. And today, nearly a week after the polls closed in Arizona, election officials are still counting ballots. And after only 17% Democrat turnout on Election Day, Katie Hobbs is miraculously winning the vote.
17% turnout. That's astonishing low.
It's crazy, Andy.
Even like the pathetic Los Angeles mayor's race, we still have like 28% of people vote. So 17% Democratic turnout is ridiculously low. That is very suspicious. That number. That they could beat somebody who Carrie Lake, who is very popular, who is very had a strong media presence. She was doing great in the polls, but yet they beat her with 17%. Something really seems off.
I'll be honest with you. Every time I looked at those poll numbers this weekend, I just didn't want to even see it. I would just turn the TV or I'd not. It was just
it's interesting that they had to go after. You know, they couldn't go after Ron DeSantis. You know, it's interesting. DeSantis, when he was first won the governorship of Florida, he only won by a very small margin. It was very, very close, like 1%. And so he's running the state there, so they can't cheat in Florida. But in Arizona, still a lot of the people who are running the elections are either rhinos or Democrats. And they really don't want, because if Carrie Lake comes in there, she's really going to clean out the corruption there. And I think
mutilation, it's all because they want to bring it back. They want to bring all that.
It's a lot of people on the inside that are afraid of getting exposed.
I mean, are you guys really surprised that this played out the way it did?
Well, I mean, I was hoping that things would be a whole lot better. I didn't think it would be in our faces like it is right now. It's literally in our face, and there's a lot more in our face we're going to talk about here.
You have Joe Biden, who shows very, very bad cognitive abilities whenever he's speaking. Like he has like the worst. I mean, you got to think about it. That's the president. That's the president. They're allowing him to be the president. I'm not surprised that this took place. I'm not surprised at all.
Screen, I think it's beginning. It's a total smoke screen.
He's just a puppet. He knows that.
Yeah, but my point is this: if everybody knows he's a puppet and nobody has done anything about it, meaning the Republicans, right, have done shit about it, and what has it been, 2 years already?
Yeah.
Then I'm not surprised that this took place. That the Senate now is Democratic, and the House seems like it's going to become a House for Democrats as well.
You know, over in Italy, where they now have a conservative in office in Italy, she's the only one that is standing up against France right now. I don't know if you heard about this, but France now is threatening Italy with consequences, probably sanctions. All kind of sanctions with these consequences over their refusal to accept migrants. I wish we would do that here, but my God, they're just coming in like, they're like, I hate to say it, what's her name on The View called it cockroaches. Well, it looks like cockroaches coming across the border. You know how they multiply, these cockroaches? Well, that's what it looks like when you see what's happening coming across our border right now. And it doesn't look like they're going to stop it anytime soon. It looks like it's just going to keep on going and going and going. And if we do not clean the house, we're in serious trouble. Serious trouble. You know, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't doubt if in the future Florida actually turns into a country.
Yeah.
I think I would move to that country.
Yeah.
You know what's happening.
And you know what they'd say? You know what they'd say here? Good riddance.
Yeah.
They'd say good riddance.
Well,
go where you belong.
We have to keep our eye. You know, I don't feel comfortable calling anybody a cockroach or people.
It's not. Look, I'm not calling them each individual. I'm like, you see, you know when cockroaches they run across things and they scramble all. That's what it looks like.
But let's keep our eye on the big picture and zoom out. Why is this? The reason this is happening is because the Democrats want to crash the system. Right. They want to crash the system with as many people, and they want to have a permanent underclass of people that are totally dependent on them. Well, so just keep the big picture in mind. That's really what it's about.
Well, keep in mind
if the people who came here from Cuba tend to be conservative because they lived under communism. If these people had a tendency to vote Republican, they would not be coming in at all. The wall would be built. They would not be letting anybody in. They would be treated,
well, that was obvious. We saw that when Trump was in office.
They would be treated like the January 6th protesters, like they're the greatest evil in human history. So just the overall picture is what the Democrats and the global elite are trying to do is crash the system, destroy the system so they can rebuild it anew and get everybody slaves, get you to be a digital slave, a financial slave, and be totally dependent on them. So that's what the real issue is. And I really, I think when we talk about what's going on, and Rob has some great insights on the Sam.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to
Sam Bankman fraud.
Before we get into that,
I just want to announce that I want to give him his official new name is Sham Bankman Fraud.
Yeah, we'll talk about Sham here in a minute. I want to get away from that for a second, and I want to talk really about these massive layoffs that are going on. Remember, I said you're going to see massive layoffs, and it's going to look like COVID without COVID. And the reason these layoffs are coming is because the economy is going to shut itself down.
Yep.
And that's where I think it's going. Look, right now, Disney is beginning to enacting layoffs as a part of the company-wide cost-cutting measures. Disney now is going to start doing a mass layoff as well. And I'm telling you, probably tomorrow we'll hear about another mass layoffs. It's happening. And this is what I want to share with you. And yet the numbers on the inflation came down a little bit, but guess what? We got the real numbers coming out this week. We got retail numbers coming out. We got some interesting things coming out. And I got to guarantee you're going to see numbers. People are not spending money because they don't have the money to spend. And the reason that the job reports was up is because these people are having to work more than one job just to make ends meet. And if they have two jobs, like I was telling you the story last week, where the woman had to literally, not just woman, millions of people now are actually going to the blood banks and donating, or not donating, selling their blood just so they have a little bit more income coming in. This is terrible. Our country is in a shambles right now, and it makes me sick when I see what's happening with the Senate and the House. And look, I don't know if we're even going to win the House, Andy.
It's going to be close. It's going to be very close. Yeah.
People need to break out of the matrix, understand that this is exactly how it's planned. You know, they get you all hot and bothered. They get you to focus on what the Democrats are doing wrong, what the Republicans are doing wrong. They have you pick a side, right? But guess what? At the end of the day, whether you're a Democrat supporter or whether you're a Republican supporter, you're still out there working multiple jobs, trying to get by with inflation soaring, with, you know, possibly the largest liquidity crisis that's about to hit the financial markets. And you're basically you're in this trap. You're in the matrix trap. And guess what? You're going because they like to keep your mentality broke and poor. You're not going to be able to break out of the matrix, and you will become a slave. Whether you're Republican, whether you support Democrats, you're ultimately going to become a slave. And this is why everybody needs physical gold, physical silver to break out of the matrix, or some sort of financial, breakout to where they're no longer a slave.
You know, there was a lot of news that came across the wire, and there's a lot of sources out there, and I want to talk to you guys about this, especially you, Rob, because you're really into the crypto scene. But Janet Yellen is yelling again. Janet Yellen is yelling again, and she's yelling about regulating cryptocurrency because of something that took place last couple of weeks ago. This has been going on now, and it has to do. Now it's getting more and more interesting. My question is this guy going to get hung by the neck? Because this is bigger than Madoff. This is we're talking.
By 50x, by 50 times.
Yeah, it's 50 times bigger.
These numbers are mind-blowing when it comes to talking. Hang on, Andy. I know you want to say something, but these guys are just dying to talk, and I'm going to let them talk because you all like to hear them talk too. So I'm going to let them talk. But it's interesting because, you know, there's been a lot of money funneling into Ukraine. In fact, there's been more money funneling into Ukraine. $27 billion in military aid was actually pledged up until October the 3rd. And you know, they're going to keep on wanting to put more money in there. But it's interesting. I want to see if there's any more money going into Ukraine after what just has been discovered. And that discovery is that there has been a lot of people lost money. How much money did these people lose, you guys?
A lot.
Like how many? Billions?
No, they lost a huge.
Well, think about it.
They lost a huge
Tom
amount of
Brady
money.
and Giselle Brady lost $600 million.
Not only them, there's a pension fund,
No,
huge
I don't think
pension.
They lost $600 million.
No,
That was all their
$680 million.
No, but that was the total of their assets. I don't think everything was.
No, that's how much money they had invested.
Well, that is the amount of money invested.
No, that's how much money they invested.
Right.
But think about it. But we're also looking at the pension fund that lost almost $95 million, right? But we're not talking about Sequoia Capital. We're not talking about all the other investments.
There were banks.
There was banks associated, hedge funds associated.
And I'll tell you why. To me, I think the reason is because they saw this money going into Ukraine, and then from Ukraine, from what I'm hearing, it went back into the Democrats' pockets. Let's talk about this. You talk about a sham. You were mentioning this guy.
Yeah.
And by the way, this guy, I don't know if he's behind bars or not. I don't think so because he's out there texting and he's saying he's not in the Bahamas. He's in Argentina. So I don't know. And he took a private jet. He got out of the United States. But I'll tell you something. It's interesting because this guy, I'm going to let Andy and Rob tell you about it. This guy is related to some people that are very close to the Democrats and to Biden. Talk about it.
Yeah, first I want to touch on what Janet Yellen said about regulation.
Yeah, let's hear that.
All this other garbage that she's talking about. Great, you know, that's great for the crypto space, especially if you're an individual who has a good head of investing in crypto, right? Because what's going to come out of this is a spot ETF for Ethereum and a spot ETF for Bitcoin, which is going to bring in a lot of institutional attraction.
So where are these ETFs coming from?
Wall Street. What do you mean?
So they're going to create an ETF For
Spot ETF.
for each one of these.
Just the two blue caps, Bitcoin and Ethereum.
So you're telling me that they're going to create an ETF?
What I see coming with regulation.
This is what you see coming.
What I see
in your idea, your opinion.
Well, I've made a ton of fucking money in cryptocurrency.
No, I know you have, and you.
So what I see, and I understand the space. You know, I think like the back of my hand at times. Sometimes I could be wrong, but we were both right about FTX, right?
Yeah, we knew that guy was a fraud.
But when
talking about it. Yeah.
Exactly, but when it comes to what regulation is going to bring, it's going to bring a lot more money into the crypto space. And I think what's going to come out of this eventually, next bull market, whether it be 2024 or 2025 or even 2026, if there's a huge bear market leading to 2025 and 2026, I believe because of regulation, they're going to come out with a spot Bitcoin ETF and a spot Ethereum ETF, which is going to bring in a lot more money.
You mean that people can actually trade on?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, on to FTX.
Yeah, but what happens when the market collapses? What happens to those ETFs?
Well, that's why there's
all
always
that
risk.
is exchange traded funds that are worth shit.
Well, guess what? That's the risk of investing, right?
Yeah.
But well, check it out. You know, what's not a risk is when you catch the bottom of a market and you ride it to the top and you sell the top, right? What the huge risk is that you FOMO in. You have these uneducated retail investors just throwing their entire life savings and their pension funds into an unregulated space, right? So that's the issue, right? But when there's regulations associated with it, retail investors are going to be limited to what they can invest and how much they can invest, right? You know, institutionally, you'll probably see like this. You'll probably see maybe a 15 to 20% retail, right? Investing allotment, and then you'll probably see on the institutional side where real money's at, a 40 to 70% allotment.
All right.
Well,
listen.
All
this bullshit about going in the stock market and all that's all bullshit according to my views. But let me ask you a question. I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about all these people that have lost their money, all their fucking hard-earned money that they put into this you know who?
Yeah.
This guy that shammed them, worse than Madoff.
Oh, way worse.
He takes money. And he's biggest Democratic donator, right?
80 million.
He looks like a shaggy poodle that's never been cut and his hair's all matted. Yet his mother is fucking connected to fucking Biden, and the whole family is connected. Tell me about this.
This is astonishing. This guy is neck deep with the most powerful people.
Who's his mother?
His most powerful people in the government.
Barbara Fried, ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
So
let me hear about this.
But let me just say one thing before Rob jumps in with the details. He's neck deep with the most powerful Democratic politicians.
Who is?
Bankman
Poodle hair sham.
He is so deep within with all he's the biggest donor other than George Soros.
Insane.
Other than George Soros, he's the biggest Democratic donor.
Bigger than George Soros?
No, second.
No. You're wrong on that part. George Soros only donated $10,000.
I think he's bigger.
No, but but overall in terms of all Democrats, but for Biden he did more. So
he actually gave money to Biden family?
Absolutely, yeah. For Biden.
Is this a fact?
Yeah. We're going to go over all the details now.
Where are you getting these details?
These details are
directly from the World Economic Forum, directly from Cointelegraph, directly from CoinDesk.
Look, this guy was
so
the most.
WEF, which is Democratic itself.
This guy is
All right, I'm listening. I'm going to be quiet.
Deep with the Democratic Party, way deep. And
this is deep.
This is the level of corruption here is just astonishing when you start to look at it. And Rob's going to go over break down all the details.
You're hearing it here on UGG TV.
This could be one of the greatest scandal in American history.
All right, I want to hear this, Rob.
All right,
Who is this Linda Fried?
Yeah,
sounds like a client of ours.
Linda Fried is Sam's aunt. That's Sam's aunt, and what she is a member of the World Economic Forum.
So where are you looking at right now getting this?
So this is directly from Cointelegraph as well as Bitcoin.ze. These are like
Cointelegraph is the biggest crypto news service.
It's
one of the like the Wall Street Journal.
So who is Linda Fried?
Yeah, well let me just give you a timeline.
I don't need to hear any more of that crap. Just who is she?
Yeah, let me give you what she is she's a member of the World Economic Forum. She's a legitimate member. And Barbara Fried, which is Sam's mother.
Wait.
That was
His mother's involved in this?
Well, his mother is the head of what's called Mind the Gap, biggest Democratic PAC.
So she funds the money to the Democrats through the PAC?
That's what a PAC does. It's just funnel.
Right, I know what a PAC is.
Just funnel the money through the PAC. Yeah.
But let me break
Holy
this down for you really
shit.
quick so you understand who was behind FTX. I mean, we understand that his aunt is a member of the World Economic Forum. We understand that his mother is probably the biggest donor to the Democratic Party. But let me break down exactly who FTX is and Alameda Research is. Ready? So Glenn Ellison, the Department of Head Economics at MIT. Okay. Gary Gensler, best friends with Glenn Ellison, is the head of the SEC and former professor of economics. Right? Their family. Caroline Ellison, the CEO of Alameda Research, the daughter of Glenn Ellison, right? Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO of FTX, son of Joseph Bankman and Barbara Fried, right? And if you don't know who his father is, he is the federal tax law creator for the government.
How old's this boy?
He's 30.
Wow.
So
he basically was the showman for all of that.
he was the scapegoat. He's like, get your degenerate son in here. Let's create this big old Ponzi scheme.
He created this whole.
What about the investors? Can't they go after and sue somebody like this? Like they did.
We'll see. Elon.
I mean, why isn't this
Elon
kid
Musk
sitting in
tweeted
a federal cell right now?
You would think, he's a little more dangerous.
Holy
than,
moly!
He's done more damage than the guys who walked into the Capitol. Who walked around and took pictures with the guards. But Elon,
what?
The way the January 6 people who just walked into the Capitol. Okay, but Elon Musk tweeted out that this guy is so high up and connected in the Democratic Party. He's probably not going to get investigated, just like Hunter Biden. Look at all the evidence.
I would be afraid that somebody would
assassinate
assassinate that guy.
There's tons and tons of it. They've done nothing about Hunter Biden. It just is exposing how deeper the levels of corruption are.
Wait, y'all give me a little bit and then you don't give me enough.
What?
I'm asking you a question.
Yeah.
So my understanding is this is the big news that's out there. That's why I'm saying this guy, I would hope he would be in a cell somewhere because somebody could easily assassinate this guy.
But he's protected by the most powerful people in the world.
You got to think about it.
You think he's got security all around him and everything?
You got to think about it. You have Gary Gensler as your person.
He's the head of the SEC.
And
Chairman. Well, wait. So this,
right.
Yeah, and wasn't he like? Wasn't he? Wait. Wasn't he like Madoff, where Madoff was actually on the board of the stocks and he was up there and he was one of the talkers? Wasn't this like this guy did all this too, right? In front of Gensler. Yeah. Well, let me ask you another question. Is it true that the money that he was given to the Democrats, before he gave it to the Democrats, he gave it to the Ukrainians, and then the Ukrainians funneled it back into the Democrats?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that story.
Whoa, that right there is mind-blowing.
The potential for that is, but he was heavily involved in Ukraine. He was setting up crypto donations to be funneled into Ukraine.
Millions
so from the beginning.
So this is how he hid the money.
Very early, he was involved.
How he hid the money was through manipulating his code so that basically a backdoor of code to funnel the money. It wasn't like in plain sight. In fact, it was like.
I wonder if Dad groomed him to do this.
You know what I also
like over Rocket Man. You know how his dad groomed him to shoot rockets and do all that. I wonder if, and they sent him to school. I wonder if this was part of the. Anyway, wow, this is bigger than big.
Yeah, this is enormous. But are we going to get to the truth of it? With the level of the corruption at the FBI is totally compromised. They've done nothing with. They've had 3 years.
I don't see where this is any affiliation with. This is like CIA and NIA type stuff. This is huge.
I know, but look at the. I saw.
Look who's associated with it.
The Hunter Biden laptop.
All the big names.
So then it's nothing.
Alan, listen. The Hunter Biden laptop.
The blocks will come tumbling down.
Had over 50 different crimes committed on there.
Do you
Somebody
think
looked at it, and they've done nothing.
Do you think any of this money? Because they always said. I was listening to stories where they're talking about Zelensky and his people have been taking money that they've been getting sent to them in Ukraine, and they've been buying properties like over in other countries. They've been buying real estate.
It's the most corrupt country in the world, and that says a lot.
All I ever see is Zelensky with this fake green T-shirt, like he's going to go to war or something.
Right,
I never see him. He just talks. He talks the game about, I need more money. I need more money.
But think about it. Think about it, Alan. This is the most corrupt country on earth. There's some really, really corrupt.
Yeah, but there's bad things going on over there right now.
No, I know, but I'm saying you're pouring all this money into a totally corrupt country and a corrupt administration. What do you think is going to happen?
My understanding of the money that was funneled to Ukraine from FTX was before the war.
Before the war?
It was before the war.
So they were planning this.
Well, see, that
sounds like it.
I mean, so
speculation.
You can go even deeper.
Allegedly.
You can go even deeper. Hopefully you have the IP or the IP address here blocked, right? But from my understanding is that the creator of a stable coin, Tether, he was murdered by the Mossad and by the CIA, according to his tweet. And
this is too much.
And he had some revealing tweets about a pedophile ring coming out of Puerto Rico. That
all right, we don't want to talk about that on here.
But if you look
at, I'm gonna have to cut you off on that one.
Well, we can't talk about it. I won't talk about it. I won't talk about it. But it has ties to FTX.
If you want to talk about pedophile, give Rob a call. 800-753-8534. 800-753-8534. He'll be happy to discuss that with you. Or we had a lot of calls, by the way, from Clyde Lewis last week. A lot of calls came in.
Great.
You guys check out Clyde. He's got some great conversations that go on beyond finance, and it's groundzeromedia.org, groundzeromedia.org, or call me direct at 323-380-5485. Wow, you guys.
My point is this: it's all an illusion, right? It's all an illusion, right? Because
digital error, to me, it all is an illusion.
Yeah, well, that digital error has some sort of backing because if it didn't have any backing whatsoever, that Ukraine would have accepted. Neither would have the Democrats had accepted or Joe Biden, right? Because what did he get paid then?
I just feel bad for the ones that have lost their livelihood.
Oh.
I mean, we haven't even heard the ones that are probably going to end up like when Madoff. Man, there were people that literally took their lives, including Madoff's sons, who took their lives. And I wouldn't doubt if something like that happens in this case. Yeah, I don't know.
FTX.us, they had a hack a couple days ago where
this is bigger than anything I've ever seen in my
was almost
my career.
$600 million from.
How much money are we talking about here with this kid, with this organization? Billions.
Yeah. Well, at one time, I think the highest level of the market cap was over 30 billion at one point. Now the market cap is a couple $100 million. So
that's what's disclosed.
We don't.
What we know is at least 50.
Then you don't think they're going to investigate this in any kind of way whatsoever, right?
It's going to go ahead and just bring down a house of cards. It's going to bring down it's going to bring down an entire organization. It could bring down 30.
Could bring down the government.
That might be why the Senate had to win.
It could bring down the government.
Exactly. And it's funny enough that it happens.
Oh.
Funny enough, it happens during an eclipse, right?
Yeah, right on the eclipse.
Right on the eclipse. And funny enough, it happens right before or exactly on top of the midterms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is, I think this could open a can of worms like we've never seen that could really get to the core.
Yeah, but you said they're not going to do anything. You said they probably won't even investigate. They have to.
The
people,
we
the people are going to want to know what's going on with the money.
The government,
the government shit from the government.
No, that's true, but a lot of people are going to want to know what's going on.
But we, the people, can bring it about because it'll
agree, Andy.
It'll become such a big issue that they'll have no choice. Or people.
Well, remember, in just a few more weeks from now, that executive order 14067 goes into effect that Biden signed off for digital currency.
It's funny you say that.
Why is that?
It's funny you say because guess what Cointelegraph says?
What are they saying?
So I'll give you exactly what they say.
Yeah, I want to hear that.
Actually, from the White House release. Actually,
what day is this?
This was 2 days ago.
Okay, I want to hear this.
Number one, Sam Bankman-Fried was a pasty used by the venture capitalist fund to launder money through FTX from political influence and the stadium in Miami. FTX collapse gives an excuse.
Wait, what do you mean stadium in Miami?
They have the signage on the Miami football stadium.
Oh, that's right. He did the Super Bowl. He was the one flying all those commercials through there.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of hokey when I saw that.
So
anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
FTX collapses gives an excuse for Gary Gensler to push regulation on the entire market. This is including stocks as well. Setting the stage for trustworthy central bank digital currency.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's kind of the picture there.
That needs to be, you guys.
You ready for this?
That needs to be the narrative today.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
Regulation.
Oh my
Gary
God.
Gensler wants regulation. Sam Bankman-Fried testifies. You saw that when he testified in front of Congress discussing regulation and trashing Bitcoin in the process. 2 days after the collapse of FTX, Digital Commodity Consumer Protection Act of 2022 bill is up for vote. U.S. Senate commits to advancing crypto bill despite FTX collapse.
There you go.
Hey, buddy. This is all orchestrated. So this is like the ones at the top who got paid off and who were behind all this. They're not going to get in trouble. Nothing's going to happen to this guy. Nothing's going to happen to what happened.
You heard it
with
here
FTX.
today on UGG TV. Nothing's going to happen to this guy.
Watch. I bet my bags on it. What you're going to see is, come trust us. We have central bank digital currency. It's better than this Bitcoin. Or, hey, come trust us. It's better than gold. Central bank digital currency. Hey, it's better than fiat.
Yeah, let's talk about gold. Gold's shooting through the roof right now because the dollar is now starting to collapse. It's interesting. You might be right because, look, the dollar is starting to get weaker.
No, I know.
The dollar is weaker, getting weaker. Gold prices are up. They were at 1777 last time I looked at it. Silver's up over 21. So gold and silver prices are going up. I don't think you'll ever be able to, and I know for a fact you'll never be able to replace gold and silver. It'll always be there. I don't care what anybody says, ain't no damn digital currency going to replace it, because I'll tell you something. If I would have invested all that money into FTX, it'd be gone. Well, but if I have my gold in my hand and I invest and I have it in my hand, guess what? It ain't going nowhere.
Well, that's true. That's true. But what I'm saying is once you're trapped in central bank digital currency, kiss the thought goodbye about
absolutely.
ever buying gold.
You talk
kiss
about
the thought,
spyware.
No. What I'm saying is kiss the fact that if you're in central bank digital currency, that you can actually purchase gold.
Oh, yeah.
You won't be. You won't be even get into crypto. So guess what? What I've been doing is buying gold, silver, platinum, and palladium heavily. And I'm also sending all the fiat currency that I have that's uninvested into the crypto space, because I understand that when you're in central bank digital currency, you won't be able to buy gold, you won't be able to buy silver, you won't be able to invest.
Yeah,
in
but you better be investing.
Scary.
If you're investing any of those fiat currencies into any type of crypto, you better be damn sure that you can get your money back out of there.
Well, there's
because
payment
the people
systems.
in FTX didn't get theirs.
Well, that's centralized exchange. So that's one thing most people don't understand.
Horseshit.
If you don't understand cryptocurrency and how the exchanges work or how
I don't
the
understand
space works,
anything that I don't have control of.
Jump in here, and Rob knows this very well. The number one rule when you start to learn about cryptocurrency, what's the number one rule? Never leave your crypto on an exchange.
Not your keys, not your money.
I'm telling you, trust me. When I started to get into crypto, I kept hearing.
Who are you
going
to trade it with? Who are you going to trade it with?
You keep it in a wallet. You keep it in a wallet.
Where are you going to take it? How are you going to get any kind of anything out of
You
it?
keep
if
it
it's
in a
regulated
wallet,
and everything is.
You keep it in a wallet, preferably a cold storage wallet. And when you're ready to trade, then you take the amount you're going to trade and you trade it. And as soon as you trade it, it goes right back into your wallet. You don't leave your money on an centralized exchange. That's the golden rule.
What are you going to buy with it?
That's the golden rule of crypto. And everybody should know that.
What are you going to buy with it?
So, you have, that's a great question. They have the ability to use payment systems in crypto where a card, just like central bank digital currency.
Yeah, China's doing it right now. I wouldn't want to have my money in China.
You can exchange your crypto for the ability to purchase goods and services. They've been since 2020.
Yeah, but what if they regulate these services? What if they do that?
They won't get regulated. Because they won't get regulated. You know why? Because it's a tax authority.
China did it.
They didn't do it.
Are you kidding? China just came out with their. Listen, Rob, I don't care what you say. You better be careful because cryptocurrency is nothing but any kind of digital currency, whether it's on blockchain or whether it's not on blockchain.
Everything's going on the blockchain.
Synthetic. It is synthetic. It's not real.
It doesn't matter if it's not real. It doesn't matter if it's not real.
Let me ask you folks out there.
Let's focus on what we agree on, which is gold and silver.
Yeah.
Precious
Would
metals.
you rather have something? And you're out there on the floor brokering gold and silver to your clients every day. And yet you're out here telling me now cryptocurrency. Why would I want to put my money in something that ain't worth a damn thing? Especially when you got somebody like a guy at FTX that can just rip you off at any time. What about this crazy motherfucker at Binance? He could rip your ass off too. Any of these guys can rip you off. I don't care if it's not in a wallet, if it's in a wallet. I don't care if it's in your goddamn refrigerator.
This is great.
You know, the goddamn look in the refrigerator, wherever it's at, it don't make no sense because it isn't real. I would rather know that I can go home and I can turn my knob on my door and I can walk into a place that has a floor that I'm standing on. I'd rather know that I can take a silver coin and have it in my hand and know that it's real because it's right there in my hand and I have a vision. I'd rather know that I'm driving my car and that I have a steering wheel in front of me and I'm driving it. I'd rather know that I'm on a sidewalk, walking on a sidewalk, rather than walking on thin air like a bunch of damn digital currency. I ain't got any more to say.
Wow, that was impressive.
I'm not going to say any more than that. I'm telling you, digital currency, you will lose your ass. If you don't know what you're doing, you will lose your ass.
Yeah, you don't want to jump in just because blind and you're so right.
You're so wrong about digital currency. Let me tell you why.
I don't disagree.
I'm arguing with my own damn brokers. Let me
say one thing.
No.
I don't disagree. I think everything you said was right on the mark, and we need to get behind these assets right now. We only have more. We're going into even more turmoil.
Get behind what assets?
Hard assets.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Now you're talking my language.
Look, we're getting the whole thing. We're talking about all what's going on in crypto is we're heading into some really, really turbulent waters in terms of this country. Something like we've never seen. And you want to go back to the tried and true.
Would you? Let me ask you.
You want to go back to the real. I agree.
Banks trusted it. Everybody trusted all these all this FTX, and look where they're at now. And
we don't know where the banks are at.
I think you're going to find out there's a lot more dollars that were lost in this FTX than what you think. I think there's a lot more to this. And I have a feeling that there was a lot of funding going on in places that shouldn't have been funded.
Well, here's the issue, right? And this is the big thing that you don't understand.
That was turned into U.S. dollars, and then dollars were actually fabricated into a certain source. I have a feeling that's what we're going to find out. But I got to tell you, don't put your money into anything that's not real. Gold and silver is real, and you're going to want it. You're going to want it because this is something that you're going to be able to fall back.
Most people can't even get it right now. Most people can't even get silver right now or gold right now. You know?
Sure,
there's a shortage, so there's a limited time.
It's getting more and more difficult.
Yeah, it is, but that's all the more reason to get it because supply on demand is right now. No, you're absolutely right, and that's why you should be calling 800-753-8534. 800-753-8534. Subscribe to our channel, UGG TV Daily News. You'll get this going on. This was a lot of fun, and I think they riled me up on purpose. But anyway, they know what my feelings are toward things that aren't real. When I want to hug a tree, I want to go out and hug a tree, right? I can hug a tree because it's real. It's there. But if I would have had any money, and I can remember how people tried to get me to invest in this FTX, and I said, no way, no way, no way. And thank God I didn't, because my morals and my faith is right. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and evidence of the things unseen. I knew by my faith that wasn't real, and sure enough, it turned out it wasn't real. Listen, God bless every single one of you. We'll see you tomorrow. Probably some more news on this guy, Poodle Hair Shaman, whatever his name. I don't even know his name. But anyway, I do know this. I do know this. He's connected, and he's connected big. And we're gonna dig into this. I want you guys to dig into this more and more. And we're gonna find. No, you don't have it all because it's still coming out. We're gonna find out more about. Look, Romeo is like, it's time to go.